So welcome back. This is BJ Tech News coming at you. This is episode 11. Today I'm actually gonna go over an email that I received from someone, and they wanted me to go over MDT 2012. And the situation that they had was that they had everything set up, but they wanted to learn or know how to integrate MDT 2012 with WDS. So with today's episode, I'm just going to answer one of my viewers' questions, and I'm going to answer it, and hopefully I do the best I can. So the way it's set up, everything's pretty cool. I got about 3 virtual machines. One virtual machine is the domain controller, which I created an account, which I'm going to show you guys when I get there. The second virtual machine is a Windows 2008 R2 Enterprise machine. I haven't pushed out all the updates, but again, if you guys have viewed all my episodes in the past, I do recommend to push out all the updates as first hand before installing anything on a server. I already installed MDT 2012 on it. I installed the Wake installation files. I installed the .NET framework. Everything is fully uploaded. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and let's go and let's work. Alright guys, so we're here. We're at again virtual machine. I'm using VMware Workstation to do all this testing out and all this demonstration stuff. Sometimes I don't recommend doing this stuff on virtual machines. It depends on the environment that you're doing. If you're implementing MDT, I would say go for it. Virtualize it. It's not a heavy duty software that would kill your machine. You don't really need a lot of memory. You don't need a lot of hard drive space. Actually, you do need a hard drive space if you're not using DFS to point your software to another location. But if you're actually importing all your applications locally to your MDT server, okay, you need a bigger hard drive. But if not, if you're using a network share that you have all your applications, you have all your batch files or whatever, don't need a big hard drive. So what I've done beforehand is, again, I know in the past, episode 1 and episode 2, I show you guys how to install MDT 2012, how to import and export, and import a driver, import an application, import an operating system. I'm actually not gonna show you guys that, so I'm gonna run everything a little quick. I just want to show you guys how to integrate the MDT 2012 with WDS, and hopefully, cross the fingers, everything works well. I will show you guys. I will create a test virtual machine and try to Pixie boot it, and hopefully it would Pixie boot into our MDT server. Okay, so within my Active Directory, this is my my virtual machine. This is the name of it, but I created an admin account so I could log into that virtual machine, and I called it MDT admin. Okay, going to my virtual machine. It's very basic. I added into the domain controller. I logged into the admin account that has full access. I installed the deployment Workbench, which you can actually find on my blog. I will post the link on my blog of where to find the MDT 2012 files, as well as the Wake WAIK files as well. So I put that link on my blog. Okay, so I'm going to open up deploying Workbench, and very basic. Again, episode 1 and 2 shows you how to do all this. I have a Skype program already in it. My operating systems, I have a bunch of operating systems. I really don't have out-of-the-box drivers because, again, I am using VM Workstation, so I shouldn't have a problem with any drivers. But if you guys are installing or try to Pixie boot into a actual machine like a laptop or a
computer, such as like a Dell Optiplex 745 or 620, or a laptop, or Toshiba Ultrabook, or Acer Ultrabook, or a netbook, most likely you got to find the NIC driver. Best practice, right click, create new, give it the title, let's say a Dell Optiplex 745, get the NIC driver and put it inside there. For Pixie booting and for this to work, you have to have the NIC driver for that model. If not, the Pixie boot won't work and it's going to error out. No packages for this demonstration, but packages mostly if you have like updates, like you have a Windows 7 SP1 service pack update, or internet browser IE9 update, or security updates that you definitely want to push out to the machines. This is where you would ingest that stuff. I created a folder inside the task sequence. Within the task sequence, I created a very basic task sequence, nothing too dramatic, keeping everything default for now. OS edit, I edit the unintended, didn't really do much, everything was really basic. Press OK on that. And on my previous episode, episode 1 and 2, I believe I showed you guys how to create a media. That's basically creating an ISO, and the ISO you either burn it into a DVD, put the DVD into a computer, boot from that, and you're good to go. For this demonstration, we're not going to do that. We're going to try to do everything on the network, Pixie boot. I'm going to minimize this, and because of the version that we have on the server, because it's actually Windows 2008 R2 Enterprise, believe it or not, there's a feature already inside the server that you can actually install, and that's Windows Deployment Services. So that's not a feature, it's actually a row. Apologize for that. Let's add a row, hit next, and there we go. Windows Deployment Services provides simplified, secure means of rapidly and remotely deploying Windows operating systems to computers over the network. That's what we want. So we're going to hit the check mark, hit next, read, hit next, yes, hit next, and install. Give it some time. Also keep in mind, when you guys ingest all this stuff within your deployment share, you always want to right click and you want to update the deployment share. Got it? Once again, once you ingest all that stuff inside your MDT deployment share, you want to right click the deployment share and you want to update it. Everything is done. Again, I have one warning, and the warning is because I haven't enabled automatic updates. Assuming, I know it's best practice, and sometimes for me, I definitely follow this all the time if I'm in a work site or I'm at my own job. When I create a server from the ground up or a virtual machine from the ground up, I install all the updates. So we're going to close this. Deployment share is good to go. We're going to close that. This is what I was talking about, the update deployment share. We're going to cancel that. Hit yes. Minimize this. Let's go to Starts, Administrating Tools, and the one that we want is Windows Deployment Services. So I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to send it to the desktop. I'm going to double click this guy. Wide this up. Click on that. Right here it gives you explanation point, basically saying that the server is not configured. So we need to configure the server for the very first time. So we're going to right click and we're going to configure the server. Read all this stuff if you want. Hit next. Into the path of everything, I'm going to keep it the default as the remote install C colon / remote install, and hit next. It's basically giving you the recommendation if you want to hit it, if you really want to do it on the C drive. I don't recommend doing it on the C drive, but in this case, this virtual machine, I did not create 2 partitions, so I'm just going to leave it for the C drive right now. Best practices is your deployment share as well as your WDS folder location should be located on another partition, because you never know, your C drive crashes. You can always rebuild the C drive partition side and then D drive still alive, and then when you got the MDT and the WDS up and running, you point it back to the D drive and you're up and running with no problem. So we're going to hit yes on that. In this case, I want to respond to all the clients and computers known and unknown. In my past, I've had a couple of users come to my office that are not users in my company, but their machines are crashed, and they, they want their stuff up and running quickly. So I actually have a couple of images built. I have one image that doesn't push out any updates, and it's a plain Jane operating system. It pushes it out, and that's it. Don't require any administrative approval for unknown computers. Again, it depends how your company works on this. With WDS, there's a section that you can actually see all the machines being connecting to your WDS, and then you can actually approve which one you want it to be pushed out. For this case, we're just going to do respond to all client computers known or unknown. Hit next, and just give it some time. It needs to do its thing. Okay, so I'm going to uncheck this now. It's basically, it wants you to add an image to the server now. You could click on that, hit finish, and it's going to prompt you to add a WIM image, which is a WMI image. That's what we're going to add now. But I want to show you guys how everything flows and works. And when I hit that finish, when you hit that finish, it's always a big smile when you see that green button. That green button means you're good to go and your WDS is working properly. When you click inside these folders and expand these folders, you're not going to see much. But the one folder that you want to work with is boot images. Actually, for those that dealt with WDS before, this is new for WDS right now. This is the first time I actually seen WDS with the Windows 2008 server, R2 edition. In my environment, at work environment, I'm actually using WDS, but I'm actually using WDS on a Windows 2008 standard edition, not R2. So with that version of the server, they don't have this. So this is pretty cool. This is something I probably look into a little bit more. If anyone actually seen this or played around with this part, yay. Comment, subscribe, email me, follow me at Twitter at BJ Tech News, or go check out my blog, which is bjtechnews.wordpress.com, and shoot me a comment and say, hey, Bernardo, I've dealt with this is what it does, blah blah blah. If you have a video, shoot me a video. I'm willing to post it up. I'm always willing to learn. One of the things that we want to do, the whole point of this episode, is basically how to integrate MDT with WDS. And if you've done everything with the deployment workbench and you updated your workbench, the workbench creates actually two WIM WIM files that you could actually ingest inside WDS. So we're gonna go to computer, C drive. I put everything in there, and go to boot. And if you see, I have a 64-bit WIM and an 86 WIM. Okay, so these are the two files that I'm actually going to ingest inside WDS. Right click, add a boot image, find the location, and we're going to go into the location. Most likely, hopefully you guys do follow best practices and do not have it on the C drive like me. And let me see if I could do both. Is it possible to do both? No. Let's do the 64-bit first. Hit next. Give it a name. I'm gonna keep it like that. You can give it any name you want. The name that you give it is the actual name when you Pixie boot a machine. That's what you're gonna see. So I'm gonna keep it like that. Hit next, and let it import itself into WDS. Good. Successful. There it goes. Basically gave you this. Excellent. So let's import another one. Let's add a image. I think I did that. I think I did the 64. Hit next. Give it some time. I don't know if you noticed, the OS version is actually 6.1, so it's not actually Service Pack 1 that I'm pushing out to the machines. Okay. that's about it. I think everything is set up. Let me check one thing. Let's right click on that. Let's go to properties. Let's go to Pixie Responses. Okay, that's excellent. That's excellent. The boot F12. That's what you want. Client, this is pretty good. Don't need that. DHCP, you don't have to do that. Multicast. Okay, that's pretty good. Don't have to deal with that. Don't have to deal with that. I think we're all set. So what I normally like to do once I import that, I would like to do is restart my WDS. And it's excellent. It is running. So the test is, let's go to File, let's go to New Virtual Machine, let's go to Next. I'll install the operating system later. It's Windows 7. Next. I want to put it onto a location, C, VMs. I'm going to put it in BJ Test, and that's what I'm going to call it, BJ Test. And I'm going to hit Next. I'm going to be real stingy with this, and I'm going to give it 5 gigs. Windows 7 does recommend 60 gigs, but I'm just giving it 5 gigs. I just want to see if I'm able to Pixie boot while MDT and WDS are integrated as one. So hit Next and hit Finish. Okay, so let's see. Let's check the settings on my virtual machine and go to Options, Power. Okay. Just checking a couple of things out. Okay. Okay, so just making sure everything looks good. I'm gonna power this bad boy in, and then I'm gonna try to get into the console. I'm trying to press F12. There you go. DHCP looks like F12, and there we go. It looks like WDS is being talked to. Now, you got to make sure that you hit that F12 quickly, plus choose your option, because if by accident, if you walk away, you do have 25 seconds until you choose an option. If you don't choose your option, what happens is, let's say the processor does not support 64-bit, you're going to get errored out. So that means you have to reboot and do F12 again. Okay? So make sure that the processor is supportive with the OS version that you're trying to do. If the architecture is 64-bit, that's what you push out, 64-bit. If it's 86-bit, you push out 86-bit. In my job, we have a lot of machines that do support the 64-bit. A lot of the processors do support it, but because the machines only are because the machines only have 3 gigs, I won't give it 64-bit. I'll give it 86-bit. The reason why is because 86-bit operating systems, especially Windows 7, only support 3 gigs machines. So there's no point of giving it 64-bit and then you only have 3 gigs of machine. You might say to yourself, that doesn't make any sense. Just give them 64-bit, let them work with the 3 gigs. You're always able to expand with no problem. But again, when you work in a company that doesn't have a big budget, hey, you gotta do what you do and try to make the right choices. So in this case, I'm just gonna go for the heck of it. I'm just gonna do 64-bit. The IP address that you see below, right here, is actually the IP address of your MDT server, and it's actually booting from that location. I'm telling you, this is awesome. MDT is awesome. But what's even better and like awesome, like 3 times awesome, is SCCM. SCCM is like the MDT in steroids. I mean, I've played around with it. I'm actually trying to create an environment for you guys for one of my BJ Tech News episodes. Don't really know when it's going to come out, but I'm trying to get my works in. I'll probably do an episode with version 2007 to show you guys how that stuff is running, and then see if I could get in my hands a 2012 version. Okay, let's see what's going on with this. This doesn't look good. See if it loads up, guys. Let's do 86, see what's going on. Okay, so it looks like it's going. Don't know why the problem was. I don't know why the 64-bit thing wasn't working. I gotta look that up. I'll probably do some research, see why that happened. I probably did something wrong on my MDT server. Let's check real quick what operating system I picked to be deployed on my task sequence, which is really weird because I thought I picked the 64-bit one, so I probably picked the 86-bit one. No. So the 64-bit is the one that I picked. Strange. Alright, so I gotta look into that and see what's going on. But this is how it's supposed to look. We're going to run the deployment wizard. I didn't customize the INI file, so I have to actually provide this information, which really sucks. So let's see if I could do provide this information and BJ Tech. See if I can able to connect to the share. Connected to the share, which is awesome. There you go. Pick it next. I don't know. Let's name scheme again. The computer name, you can actually customize this and automate this on the custom INI file. You're probably saying, what the heck is a custom INI file? Custom INI file, you can actually locate it here. If you right click, go to properties, go to rules, and this is what it is. So I'm just gonna give it a name. Again, you can also go to the custom INI stuff and do this. You can even take it a further. You can take it one step further and actually integrate a SQL database and have all this stuff like in a database, which is awesome. That's what I have in my job. For now, I'm just gonna join a work group, which is the default. Hit next. Don't worry about that because we're not actually taking anything. We're not actually migrating information to it. Hit next. You can actually skip this stuff. It's Eastern time. The software that you want, hit next, and the details, and then you begin. And that's it, guys. I'm hoping that you enjoyed episode 11 from BJ Tech News, and I'm hoping it was helpful to those that were wondering about MDT 2012 being migrated with WDS. Again, hook me up at my blog. Blog is bjtechnews.wordpress.com, or follow me at Twitter at bjtechnews, and let me know if you guys have any questions about anything. If you guys want me to go into something else, or you want me to create another video or blog about something, hey, let me know and I'll work into it. I hope you guys enjoy my video, and I'll check you out on the next episode. Thanks.